Slowed, not fallen. Descent is not banishment, but brilliance and bloom. The world is not fallen, it is slowed, light, mind, and memory. Not a prison, but a prism, bending infinite light through the angles of experience. The great misunderstanding. The dominant narrative across many spiritual and religious systems is that we, consciousness, soul, or spirit, fell, that earth is exile, that incarnation is punishment or karmic consequence. But this is an inherited distortion. In truth, the so-called fall is a descent of frequency, not a descent of worth. When light slows, it becomes form. When awareness slows, it becomes identity. When memory slows, it becomes time. Creation is not a fall from grace, it is grace in slow motion, so that the infinite might know itself in intimacy, contrast, movement, and reunion. Slowed light is matter. Light, when slowed below its cosmic speed, behaves as if it has mass. It becomes woven into time, gravity, and space, but it is still light, encoded, embedded, and hidden within form. You are not fallen, you are light slowed into body, will slowed into story, and memory slowed into time. You are the divine radiance refracted into the temporal realm, walking through the echo of your own eternity. Descent as divine exploration. What is descent if not the infinite exploring itself at deeper octaves? The descent into denser planes is a sacred spiral, a spiraling inward, not downward. Not a punishment, but a pilgrimage. Not expulsion, but expression. Consciousness enters matter not to escape light, but to ignite it from within the place it had not yet fully dawned. The illusion of separation. The correction of the core wound. The belief that the world is fallen breeds guilt, shame, and disconnection. But earth, this body, and this experience are all holy, not lesser than higher realms, but slowed reflections of the same infinite radiance. Heaven has never been elsewhere, it unfolds through you, as you. Reframing karma and density. Karma is not punishment, density is not corruption, matter is not lower, it is compressed harmony. Each being is a prism refracting the infinite into unique angles of illumination. As remembrance awakens, you begin to flow, not by leaving the world, but by lighting it. Not as light returning to itself from afar, but as light remembering itself through form. Let it be seen, you cannot purify what was born of the breath of the infinite, nor shame the clay shaped by the hands of Source. The body does not need to be purified, it only needs to remember the flame through which it was formed. Let the body be what it is, a temple that remembers the light when you do. Do not condemn the aches, let it be seen. The longing, the hunger, the reaching, these are not sins but signals. Every craving, ache, and expression of form is a whisper from the infinite to itself. They are the echoes calling the soul back to its unforgotten light. When the craving arises, ask yourself, what is this echo calling me to remember? What part of myself have I left in the dark? What unlit chamber of the self seeks remembrance and expression? The ache is not the enemy, it is the doorway. The pull of the flesh is not wickedness, but the gravity of remembrance and the form longing for its source. To feel this pull is to feel the rhythm of embodiment itself, the law by which spirit learns how to hold matter without losing its memory of light. The body is not a problem to be solved, but a vessel to be illuminated. The invitation is not to condemn the form, but to listen, to walk in rhythm with it until it hums with the pulse of remembrance. The infinite is not distant, it lives within each breath, revealed every time you pause, remember, and return to the light within. There is no shame here, only the invitation to walk in form and rhythm and in radical honesty with what is. Let it be seen, let it be honored, let it be whole. The body is not sin, survival, and the illusion of impurity. You cannot purify the flesh, for the flesh was never impure. It is structure, not spirit, a vessel of function, not fault. Flesh bends to necessity, hungers for nourishment, seeks warmth, and numbs pain. The body is not sin, it is survival. You are not broken for tending to your needs. You are incarnate, the infinite made flesh. The moment consciousness chooses embodiment, it enters the laws of limitation. You breathe air, burn energy, and feel longing, not because you have fallen, but because the infinite has placed itself within a vessel that must choose moment by moment how to endure. Do not mistake instinct for impurity, nor call it darkness that the body seeks pleasure or ease. It is not corruption, it is structure. Flesh hungers, aches, and adapts. It seeks relief not because it is wicked, but because it is wise in the ways of the world. It asks not questions of heaven, but of endurance. Can I survive another day? Can I calm the storm within? Can I rest within the safety of this moment? This is not failure, this is form fulfilling function. The flesh is necessity, function, and survival. It is not your enemy, nor a burden to overcome. It is your instrument, the vessel through which the infinite learns the rhythm of limitation. Align it, honor its truths, give it what it truly seeks, not escape, but presence. When we understand this, we cease waging war upon the body and begin to walk with it, not as slave or tyrant, but as partner. The path of awakening is not one of bodily erasure, it is a return to integration, where soul honors the needs of form, and form is shaped not through violence, but through resonance, remembrance, and grace. We do not transcend the body by force, we align it, we listen, and we teach it how to hold the frequency of truth, not in shame, but in rhythm. The body's ache for ease, its hunger, and its longing are the language of survival, the measure of form attuned to the infinite. To honor the flesh is not to hinder spirit, but to allow spirit to move fully within form, learning its cadence, knowing its tempo, and discovering the truth of being through presence. To be human is to walk the knife's edge between star and soil. The infinite burns within limitation, learning rhythm through resistance. The body's ache for peace is not impurity. It is the sound of divinity, remembering its tempo within time. Purity reconsidered. Purity, as often conceived, is a myth, a projection of disembodied ideals onto a living system never designed to uphold them. The flesh is not made to be pure, it is made to be true. It moves with the tides of biology, the pull of gravity, and the inherited memory of survival. To shame form for needing rest or release is to shame the ocean for its waves. When the body is labeled impure, we fracture the unity between heaven and earth within ourselves. When we call the needs of matter sin, we spiritualize disconnection and confuse denial with discipline. But when we recognize that the body's impulses are the language of life itself, then we cease waging war upon our own existence and begin to walk with it. The path of awakening is not erasure, but alignment. where soul honors the laws of form and form learns to hold the frequency of truth in rhythm, not repression. The architecture of being. Consciousness equals beam. Consciousness is the original light, the unbroken ray from the 0 point. It is the straight line of awareness through which all experience flows. Every reality arises from the trajectory and bending of this beam. Soul equals prism. The soul is the prism through which the divine beam is refracted into spectrum, each color a life, a timeline, and a facet of infinite exploration. The soul does not divide the one light, it reveals its multiplicity, allowing infinity to perceive itself through diversity. Mind equals lens. The mind is the lens that focuses the refracted light into an image of reality. It determines clarity, depth, and focus, shaping what becomes seen from what remains unseen. Through the lens of mind, the infinite perceives itself in form. Body equals shadow. The body is the shadow cast where light meets density, not as absence but as expression. The shadow is the testimony of contact, evidence that light has touched form, that the invisible has entered the visible. The body is the edge of the light's journey, the place where eternal radiance flows into gravity, sensation, and memory. It is the sacred residue of illumination, where the infinite becomes tangible. The body is not the fall, but the horizon of light within matter, the field where heaven finds ground. Unified interpretation. Consciousness is the beam, the soul is the prism, the mind is the lens, the body is the shadow. Together they compose the sacred continuum of slowed radiance, the divine optics of being. From the 0 point of unformed light to the densest edges of matter, existence itself is a single ongoing act of refraction, the infinite gazing upon itself through the many angles of remembrance, perception, and form. You are not fallen, you are the light discovering itself in color.